Look, if you're watching this at home, here's how willing Donald Trump is to insult your intelligence.
I guess he thinks we're all stupid.
He seems to think Christians are suckers. He'll just hold up the Bible as a prop without ever seeming to look into it.
When you don't have a real audience, you have to fake one, just like Trump's inauguration. Senator, your net worth is 100 times mine. Now, supposing that you went home feeling the holiday spirit, I know this isn't likely, but stay with me.
If somebody you love went to serve, if somebody you know didn't come back, does the president signing off on some big program make up for the insult of him describing America's war dead as losers? To me, the answer is pretty clear.
Some candidates know when it's time to get out of the race, and some candidates are Tulsi Gabbard. Do you seriously think anybody on this stage is proposing invading Mexico?
I take the example of those leaders who have come before us, leaders like JFK, who met with Khrushchev, like Roosevelt, who met with Stalin,
like Donald Trump,
Reagan, who met.
You know, the president has denied that particular story.
Right, but we know he's lying because, you know, even in the middle of his denial,
how do we know he's lying?
He said, I never called well, because part of his denial was he said, I never called John McCain a loser, and anybody with Twitter can go and see where he did. If you really believe the president now on this kind of stuff, I got a bridge to sell you.
Give us some insight into what she might say to justify why she was for Medicare for all then and is not for it now.
Well, there's a classic parlor game of trying to find a little bit of daylight between running mates. And if people want to play that game, we could look into why an evangelical Christian like Mike Pence wants to be on a ticket with the president caught with a porn star, or how he feels about the immigration policy that he called unconstitutional before he decided to team up with Donald Trump. But I think what most Americans want to hear about is, are our families going to be better protected than they have been by this president who's failed to secure America in the face of one of the most dangerous things ever to happen to our country?
Here's another fun one.
And for a party that associates itself with Christianity, to say that it is okay to suggest that God would smile on the division of families at the hands of federal agents, that God would condone putting children in cages, has lost all claim to ever use religious language again.
Good to have you here. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Citizens, Gary Carter Green here, and this is your You Can't Beat Blue Daily Briefing. As always, new briefings launch around the clock. Be the first to catch them by following You Can't Beat Blue at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And hey, if you're not part of our exclusive Facebook club yet, there's still time. Come join us at facebook.com/groups/You Can't Beat Blue. All are welcome. Democrats, Republicans, future former Republicans, Marianne Williamsons, everybody. The secret's out. Come join us. There are some diehard Pete Buttigieg loyalists out there who are not particularly thrilled that President-elect Joe Biden offered him the cabinet position of Secretary of Transportation. I think a lot of people were holding out for UN ambassador. They wanted something a little bit sexier than transportation. They can't recall in history a transportation secretary that has made the leap to the White House, so people are concerned about Pete's political future. If you're one of those people, this is the video for you. I personally happen to be someone who's extremely excited to have Pete at transportation. Yes, these things do get me very, very excited. I want to start by reminding everybody that it wasn't that long ago that Pete Buttigieg had no national notoriety whatsoever and was simply Mayor Pete of South Bend, Indiana. If you weren't living in South Bend, Indiana, you probably had no idea who Pete Buttigieg was before about January of 2019. That is when Pete officially announced his exploratory committee for the 2020 presidential nomination. So much has happened in this world between 2019 and now that it's actually really hard to remember a time when Pete Buttigieg wasn't an A-lister on the political scene. But the jump that he is making from mayor of South Bend, Indiana, which had a population of 100,000, to running a federal executive department of the United States of America that alone employs nearly 60,000 people and has a budget in the tens of billions, is obviously extraordinary. And it doesn't hurt that Pete Buttigieg is this superstar politician and superstar policy wonk, and this guy who's like hyper-focused and intensely driven and something of a nerd. All of this adds up to a very successful and consequential future for the Transportation Department of the United States of America. Now, President-elect Joe Biden is committing to a $2 trillion investment in infrastructure and clean energy economy, and much of that is going to fall under the overview of Pete Buttigieg, including providing zero-emission public transportation options for cities all across the country, repairing roads, repairing bridges, repairing waterways. All of these things are in turn going to help improve the movement of both people and goods all across this country, create thousands of new jobs, and save millions and millions of dollars. Pete is also going to be making decisions on the future of America's entire transportation system, including in a very big way and a very real way, autonomous vehicles. They're already here. They're on your streets. You can actually go to Phoenix right now and call up a Waymo driverless cab. This thing's amazing. It shoots out laser beams to build up an understanding of the world 360 degrees around it. And it uses radar to detect how far away objects are and at what speed they're traveling. I mean, can't you see Pete Buttigieg geeking out over this stuff? I almost feel badly for Chasten. At night, Pete's going to be coming home and going on, and Chasten's like, dude, enough already. I have papers to grade. I don't want to hear about it anymore. Oh, let me just tell you about the... No. And it's not just cars. We've got autonomous fleets of trucks that are already transferring goods all across the country. And you think about the stories about these drivers who are on these long hauls and they fall asleep and they cause accidents. And of course, all of these trucks that you have against you in rush hour in the morning, all of that stuff with no drivers behind the wheels, all of that stuff can be transported at any time of day. I mean, think about all of those trucks that you compete with on your morning rush hour drives, delivering all of their goods between midnight and 6 a.m. For the rest of eternity. It'd be fantastic, right? Just zoom straight to work. Not to mention that the whole country is going to have to learn how driverless cars work and how to be comfortable with driverless cars and how to interact with them to know what responsibilities are ours and what responsibilities are the cars. We're talking about a national campaign that's going to have to be built from the ground up, teaching people how to interact with autonomous vehicles. I don't know how you feel, but the idea of Pete Buttigieg being this futuristic 21st century driver's ed teacher for America, I am so good with that. I am completely on board. What the Department of Transportation actually needs to be a little bit more appealing to the masses is someone who knows and understands how to integrate systems and who can quickly absorb new ideas and be ahead of the curve on innovation and have an exceptional ability to manage people. Well, we have seen from his campaign for president that Pete Buttigieg is able to do all of those things. And last thing I want to mention, for those of you who are worried about Pete's future political aspirations, Joe Biden won the presidency of the United States in the year 2020 when he was 77 years old, I believe. 10 years from the recording of this video, Pete Buttigieg will still not even be celebrating his 50th birthday. By the time he finally does enter the White House as commander-in-chief, he very well could be the most seasoned, most experienced, most knowledgeable president to ever walk through those doors. So let's get on board with this transportation department thing. Let's make it sexy. Let's follow what Pete Buttigieg is doing and let's talk about it with one another. This is only going to help him on his next big run for the White House. I'm ready. Are you ready? Let's go. All right, I'm done for the day. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And don't forget, midterms start now. My cup even says so. Go out and find yourself a Democrat to support. Remember, you can do a hell of a lot more than you think you can. See you next time. Bye.